World War II documentaries recently. I've been watching World War II in color, which is pretty good, yeah. I haven't finished it yet, though, so no spoilers. It's cool. The issue that I have with myself is that I have a very short attention span. So whenever I'm watching it, like I have to be doing something else or watching something else, which is like a really bad way to like take in information about war, right? Like, I'll be watching the documentary and it'll be like, the attack on Pearl Harbor killed 3,000 American lives. Then I'll cut to a tab, it's like dude perfect trick shots. I'm like, oh, this is, it's an emotional whiplash. You go from like, this is so sad to like, this is pretty awesome. You know? I have the same reaction to both though. I'm like, wow, this is pretty good aim. Sometimes I'm watching it and the thing that I'm watching on the side to the documentary kind of lines up, right? I was watching the documentary and it was like at 11:01 a.m. the family was dropped in Nagasaki. Oh, LeBron James with no regard for human life! Right, cat leaders to a lead. That was the first time. Alright, that's fair. I actually heard about the World War II documentary on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, it's a rating website. This is just a transition to the next joke, but that's pretty crazy, right? Throwing Rotten Tomatoes is something bad. I was like doing some research. That's an insane thing. Like, you know how mad you have to, like, how bad something has to be for you to throw food at it? I mean, I've seen horrible movies before. Never once have I been like, let me throw this popcorn at the screen, you know? Not once I've been like, look at my milk duds and start pelting. Whatever, right? It's even weirder when you think about the context of throwing tomatoes and like when that was done. Like, it was in the 1800s, like before they had refrigerators. So like food really mattered, right? You gotta eat everything you buy. Like, can you imagine just like holding out a tomato just to like throw it later? Some son's like, Dad, like I'm so hungry, please let me eat this tomato. She's like, I don't know, maybe in a month there might be a shitty play. It's an insane thing, right? Can you imagine being like in attendance of the first time that someone threw tomatoes? Sarah, it's okay. I'm gonna press it down again. Alright, we want like cheesesteak lighting in here. Cheesesteak factory lighting up. I lost my train of thought. It's insane to be at the first time someone like threw tomatoes, right? You imagine being the guy sitting next to the guy. Like you look to your left and so he just has like a bag that's just like soaked. It just like flies around it. Like, do they have a popcorn? Like what the fuck? What is this? And then being in the theater, like being in the audience, like when the first tomato was thrown, right? Because with the first tomato, it was probably like confusion. Like people probably thought it was a mistake. Some people probably thought it was part of the production, right? I don't remember Hamilton having this tomatoes got thrown here. And then the second tomato came in, and it was probably a similar reaction to like 9/11. Like, oh, it's not an accident? Like, oh. I think the most interesting thing, as I was doing like research on the topic of throwing tomatoes that I found, is that they actually had to go through multiple like fruits and vegetables to figure out the tomato was like the perfect thing. Which means like potentially at one point somebody would just like throw out pickles at actors. It's like doming dudes. It's like slinging grapes, like skipping stones or something. Somebody doesn't get the memo, just brings a watermelon.
Thank you. How's everyone doing tonight? Doing well? As Cooper mentioned, my name's Cam. I'm actually really, really bad with names though. For the longest time, I thought his name was Cooter. But like the weird part is like he responded to it for like months, right? I just thought it was weird. Names can be tricky. Hey, joke. Names can be tricky though. Like some I just don't get. Like why did Cracker Barrel name their restaurant after their target audience? They're just like, who wants to buy breakfast and candles at the same time? Like, was like socioeconomically sound ethnic majority of the United States like too long for the sign? Let's try something shorter and more racially charged. We can work on this. Like names can be confusing too. Like I was on Twitter the other day, saw an amazing tweet. I quote, "My husband went on a business trip and he had to wear a mask the whole time, and he came back with chlamydia. Coincidence? At Anthony Fauci. There's a lot to unpack here. First off, with all due respect, her name was probably not coincidence. Probably easier to spell, maybe food oriented, like candy. I don't know. Also, why would you add Anthony Fauci? Like, if there's one thing I know about this man, is that he uses protection. Like, he's not caught passing the chlamydia shit around. Like, if you're going to add, like, someone in government, like, why not, like, Bill Clinton? Like, someone with, like, some experience. Not Anthony Fauci. Like, he looks like a fucking raisin. Man doesn't get out. Like, you could have also just added, like, Jesus Christ. just like the kicks and goos. You won't get an answer. But, so, like, another, like, let's check my hand. Trying to do something. Hey,
sorry, I understand.
So yeah, you could also have added Jesus Christ. And like, I feel like in biblical times they would have gotten more use out of Murray than we do today. It's like first episode, it's like, Joseph, you're not the father. Let's go. Wait. Just cuts to Mary, she's crying. And now it's time to bring in the real father. Just beam of light. Mary blushes. Jesus would also probably hate the airport. It's like with the last name, like, of Nazareth, like, you're getting patted down, like, 100%. Like, when he does it, it's like, dude, do you have fucking fish in your pockets? How many people are you trying to feed? 4,000? It's like, what the hell? It's like, actually, quite the opposite, actually. Like, Jesus is also, I feel like he would be just like the archetype of who pretentious white people don't want to sit next to on a plane. It's like white robes, not on American Airlines. Not next to me. Joke's on them though, because I'm pretty sure Jesus flies on Spirit. Okay, that's my time. Short and sweet. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Did anyone go home for break this year?
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving? Yeah. I went home, and I got caught with my weed at home. So it was like a weird situation, especially around the holidays. So I just did what I thought Jesus would do. I told my mom it was myrrh. My friends asked me why I didn't say it was frankincense. I said, because myrrh is a much better punchline. But frankincense is also like a long word. I don't like the middle syllable. I feel like we don't need that one. We just get rid of it, right? Like, frankincense could just be Frank's sense. We get it. It smells like Frank. But myrrh even sounds like the third wise man, like, actually brought Jesus weed, but, like, forgot Mary and Joseph were going to be there. Like, the first wise man was like, you know, here's gold. And the second one was like, here, smell Frank. And then the third one was like, and the third was like, yo, Jesus, dude, I got you a bag of myrrh. He pulls Jesus aside. He's like, hey, Jesus, are they cool? A virgin? Bullshit. That's my last Christmas joke. You know what wasn't around Christmas when I went to D.C. in 8th grade? Went on a class trip. I was with all my classmates, and there was a girl on my bus that I was very fond of. Her name, I'll make up a name, it was Ashley. And Ashley broke my heart. I asked her out, and she said no on the bus. It was fucking devastating. The bus stopped at the Martin Luther King statue, and we got off, and I sat on the bench in front of the statue alone and cried. And then I realized there must be a lot of people that get their heart broken in DC because a group like 15 guys in white hoods came over and started doing the same thing. I thought they wanted me to join their club. Turns out, more of a clan. They must have been in a role play. Kept calling me Dragon. I don't know if anyone's anyone's been to DC, it's a really cool trip. There's a lot of really interesting attractions, like the Washington Monument. I like the Korean War Monument. It's got the statues of the soldiers. But there's some that take on like a little bit of a darker tone. For example, the Holocaust Museum is really dark. You go through there and everyone's crying. Not those hooded guys. They look like they cheered up. Not me though. My robe was too itchy. I couldn't focus. For real though, you know, this whole situation caused a big fight for me and Ashley. We got into a fight. And I'm not good at those things, so I called my mom. I don't know if anyone has really old school parents, but my mom's like super chivalrous. She always made sure I knew how to treat a lady. So I said, Mom, I got into a fight with Ashley. Like, what should I do? And she said, you should buy her flowers. I was like, wow, that's like a really sweet idea, but I just don't know how that's going to help her black eye. Because, like I said, my parents are old school. My mom's chivalrous, and my dad's misogynistic. The problem is, I think there's a lot of ladies that don't understand that, and they want a guy that's chivalrous but not misogynistic. You either get both or you get none. Because it's not fair otherwise, right? Like, the only reason I would put my jacket over a puddle for a girl to walk across is so I can look at her ass when she walks across. Otherwise, jump, bitch. This is a Tommy Hilfiger jacket. Your shoes are from Kmart, and you got fucking athlete's foot, Brenda. For real though, like, you know, I know misogyny must suck. Like, yeah, 80 cents on the dollar, but you just never take your hands out of your pockets. You just kind of like float around, doors open for you, chairs just appear under you when you want to sit down. You don't even see us guys doing it for you, right? And we're the ones that are opening these nasty ass doorknobs. You've all touched a booger on one of those things. It's fucking gross, you know? So you know what? Yeah, for the trouble, 20 fucking cents. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Hi guys. Hi. I feel like I'm at Alcoholics Anonymous again. Thank you. I'm my dad. Hi, I've been an alcoholic for 37 years. Thank you for laughing at that because I am old, but you guys will never know how old. I'm going to be honest, I did not at all prepare for this, but happy 7th night of Hanukkah, everybody. I am actually not Jewish, but I do celebrate Hanukkah, kind of like how Christians are not really Christian and they celebrate Christmas. But you know, I think it's fun. I like to light the candles. I like to make my friends sing the blessing with me. It's kind of like a birthday, but better, because we get to watch the candles burn all the way down. And, you know, it's a little dangerous. It's a little fun. So, one of my fun stories that I have for you guys tonight is one time when I went to art school, which I obviously very much went to art school, you know, and then I transferred here. And it's a lot, I've had a lot more experiences here than I really expected to have. Last night I went to a party where we were doing something called Edward 40 Hands. Have you guys ever heard of that? It is where you take 2 40s of alcohol to your hands and you cannot take them off until you drink both of them. Have you ever tried to go to the bathroom with 2 giant bottles taped to your hands? Because I have. Now. They say college is for new experiences. And having my friends pull up my underwear for me was definitely a new experience. It was very fun. I did a variation of it called Amy Wine Hands, where I did wine instead, because fuck beer. And honestly, thank you for snapping, love it. So I was just having a great time getting trashed like Amy Winehouse would want me to do. In her memory, God rest her soul. That is the God that I believe in, her and Dolly Parton. Yeah, of course. I look like this and I pray to Dolly Parton. Pink is my favorite color. It's very fun. I totally lost my train of thought. Where are my jokes? Here we go. Oh yeah, somebody suggested that we should do a dick joke counter for tonight. So far we only have 2 and they happened before the show. So all of you are fucking watching. Alright? I'm keeping a fucking tally. We'll see how funny you men can actually be. I love to make fun of men. It is one of my favorite things. They kind of deserve it. So absolutely fuck you, Will. Thank you. One of my favorite things to make fun of is men on Tinder. Y'all do not know how to take pictures of yourselves. You do not know how to hit on women. If I have one more man tell me he likes my platform shoes, I'm gonna throw up. Cause I get it, I need to be tall. Okay, I'm 4'10", it's in my fucking bio. Get a new line. And get a new fucking pose in your picture, every single one, the exact same half smirk. Okay, we get it. You don't actually know how to smile. You've never felt real happiness. Go to therapy. All right, I think that is my jokes for tonight. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, you guys are so kind. Appreciate it. It just feels good just knowing I'm being looked over by a higher power, Don Cheadle. Makes me feel good. Let's do some crowd work. Where are you from? Yeah.
Chicago.
Alright, glad we got that out of the way. Yeah, I got some good news today. My mom is officially cancer-free. Woo! Yeah, thank you. I keep telling your mom you never had cancer. It doesn't matter that you're cancer-free. She keeps telling me. I get it. Yeah. A lot of people see their families, I assume, over Thanksgiving. Cool. My dad, you can come on there. Come on. You're not missing a lot.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah, that's all
There
right.
should be some seats in the
Come in.
stand-up comedy.
Hey, where you from?
Arkansas, Little Rock,
All right, glad we got that. Don't worry about it. All right. So my dad is a beekeeper. He likes to throw that into every conversation. He collects bees, harvests them, I don't really know. But he likes to talk about it every time he can. He told me, he's like, Charlie, do you know a fun fact about bees? That is, when they ejaculate, or bee-jaculate, their dicks explode. I'm like, alright, please tell me that you Googled that. And then he offers me a jar of honey. I'm like, But I feel bad. He does give me a lot of honey, and I don't have the heart to tell him I don't really eat that much honey. So every time he comes over, I just throw a jar away, so it looks like I'm using it, you guys don't laugh at that. Honey's expensive, I get it, But we get into a lot of arguments. I got into an argument with him over Thanksgiving dinner, I got really mad. So I went out to the beehive. I jerked off as many bees as I could. Yeah, a lot of religion talk today. A lot of jokes about religion. I feel bad talking about it. I don't feel like I'm going to have any new takes on one of the oldest concepts of all time. But in high school, I didn't really understand the concept of being Jewish, genetically, it's kind of like a ethnicity kind of thing. I understood the religion fine, but this girl told me that she was half Jewish. I was confused, I didn't understand, so I just made fun of her for it, Because I thought she meant she was half Jewish, she just didn't care about it. The New Testament's fiction, nothing happened to you, blah, 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 but I did not have a bar mitzvah. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, no, my mom is Jewish, so I'm half Jewish. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I'm half MILF. You're half Jewish, what does that mean? You have a two-skin? I knew Will would like that one. But, yeah. Yeah. But I don't really care about religion at all. I just don't care. It's religion is fine. You can be religious, I don't care. I just feel like it's such a prevalent thing. It's such a big, important thing. I don't know. I'm automatically against religion, no matter what, because of a guy that came up to me at the mall and forced Bible lines on me for 45 minutes. Anyway, They're trying to push, like, they really want religion in schools. I don't really understand that. I don't think it's fair because kids literally believe anything you tell them. Like one time I was in the car with my little brother, he was like 8, and he was like, Charlie, what's the scariest thing you've ever seen? I was like, do you mean in real life or like fake, like movies? He's like, what's the scariest thing you've ever seen in real life? I'm like, all right, well, I guess I was driving on the highway one time and I saw a car accident and I saw a dead body on the side of the road and a bunch of broken glass. It was really scary. He said, yeah. I was like, what about you? What about you? What's the scariest thing you've ever seen? He was like, Slender Man. I was like, no. Okay, so you meant fake. He's like, no, Charlie. Go on YouTube. Look up Slender Man. Alright. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Anvi Arora, and yeah, this is my first time performing stand-up comedy, so thank you all for coming out tonight. It makes sense that it's my first time performing stand-up comedy considering it's the very last show of the semester, just because being late is pretty on brand for me. And I mean this like genuinely, right? Like, no matter what time I wake up, I always end up being like exactly a minute late to class. And I'm not sure why, even though like I try to make it on time. I've also been late for Uber car rides, engineering team meetings, and even my high school prom. But it's fine because it's like fashionably late, right? So earlier tonight we were asking people where they're from. But whenever people ask me where I'm from, I never really know what to say. Because I was born in England, and then we moved to Arizona. After that, we were in Texas. And then we moved to Ohio, and now we're somehow in the cornfields of Indiana. Very fun. But Ohio's pretty fun. Bet you guys have heard of like Kentucky Fried Chicken. But have you ever heard of Ohio Fried Chicken? Yeah. Well, let me tell you, there's a song by Jake Paul called Ohio Fried Chicken, and it is quite the banger. No, I'm sorry. It is so bad. They're like all wearing their overalls. They even have these like custom Ohio Fried Chicken shirts, some flannel action going on. It's a good time. But my brother and I, we ended up listening to that song so many times that we kind of accidentally have the lyrics memorized. So that's tough. We went home for Thanksgiving break, and I had to take a drug test for the company that I'm going to be interning with. And I failed that drug test because I didn't drink enough water. And I drank too much water, and the test came out inconclusive. So I had to take it again. And because now we're back on Purdue's campus, I had to take an Uber there. And it was kind of a weird experience having to pay money to go piss in a cup. Just because like that's literally something I can do anywhere, anytime. Like just say the word. Like it goes to one of the dining ports, takes it like one of the cups that they always have, and you know. But ended up having to go to a location that was about like 15 minutes away, solid $20. We were in and out of there in like 6 minutes, and had to Uber back. So this is probably the most expensive piss that I'll ever take. If any of you guys have taken a more expensive experience, definitely let me know. I'd be super excited to hear about it. All right, thank you guys so much.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I saw a construction worker pissing. He was pissing on the side of the building that he was working on. I like to think that he did it with the best intentions in mind, right? Like pissing on it was somehow gonna like bring the building up to code. It's like, guys, this building is collapsing. What do we do? Oh shit, let me do something. I don't know.
Or maybe it was more of like a commemorative thing, right? You know how like they take bottles and like break it off the side of ships? It's just like, yes, I dubbed this the SS Public Daycare. All right. I'm gonna draw a sad face. Apparently, when you're in line in the TSA, you can't say the word bomb for whatever reason. Yeah, the brown guys. Immediately. I don't know. I think it's like because like it gets like on like the TAs like the TSA's like it kind of like puts them on edge, right? That just makes it a little more inconvenient because you can't point out and say, hey, look, that guy has a bomb right there, and the TSA agent is like, stop it, you're scaring me. Yeah, so you can't say the word bomb. You also can't say God bless America, and I'll kind of elaborate. I was in line getting patted down by this guy, a TSA guy, not just a guy. It's not like a random dude. Like, are you TSA? I can be anything you want. It wasn't like that. It was a fully qualified TSA guy with a neon blue sweater or whatever the fuck they wear, and like a high school degree. I don't know. So like, I don't know. He finished sexually harassing me, and so as he was turning away, I like sarcastically said like, yeah, yes, God bless America. And he quickly turned around and said, do you really mean that? And I was like, whoa, okay. It's not enough they have to check my badge, you also have to check my tone of voice too. God, relax. Also, like, I don't know, while we're on, like, I don't know, just like, would you rather have let me say like, I don't know, like, Allahu Akbar? What if I just said the most egregious shit? Like I just walked through the metal detector, I'm just like, death to America. And he's like, oh shit, right this way, sir. First class ticket holder, for sure. While we're on the subject, I feel like the TSA are actually trained to try to give you a sexual awakening when you pat them down. Like in the training, they're just telling them like, yeah, you're searching for weapons, but try to make them question their marriage a little bit. Some guy's in line and he gets groped, he's like, oh shit, should I abandon my kids? I saw a job opening for a position called paid analyst. I don't think you need to clarify that. That just kind of implies that there's another position called a slave analyst. It's like qualifications, a broken will. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Also Google Analytics, like, oh, okay, well, I know that, so might as well apply. Also like, no masters required, one will be provided for you. Alright, that's my time, you guys are great.
Hi, my name is Arthur. Yes, that is it. I'm not human. I'm simply a ball of carbon and hydrogen. That's as far as my existence really goes. I have no need for a last name. But I do have a need to be up here, and this is kind of an interesting story. So you know how those superlatives they put at the end of your high school yearbook? They're like the most half-assed prophecies you can probably think of. This guy's going to be successful. Well, successful in what way? There's different kinds. There's the, more underworld kind of, best kind of, sucks dick the most amazing way possible, little tip on the balls. And then you have the CEO of Google, Amazon Plus, or whatever the hell. There's different kinds of that. But in my case, I was told most likely to be a comedian. And that means jack shit. Because why? That doesn't mean anything. They say, oh, I'm funny. Well, how am I funny? None of you guys were funny to begin with when I was in high school anyway. The only way I made you guys laugh was a very special instance. We had to design t-shirts for our high school. And a lot of people did the usual of like, go team name, or here are our school colors done in a very minor tweak along the stripes of our jackets. The most micromanaged bullshit ever. So I decided to throw it all out the window, and I decided to go for something a bit more black and orange, which was not our school colors. And I decided to put our school name in the Pornhub logo and put it on a shirt in front. And on the back, I put all the seniors' last name underneath credits. They were fucking us over and they knew it, but that was an interesting talking to principal's office. I forgot to include him, he wasn't very happy about that. And from there, I was the funniest guy in school because no one else had the balls to actually tell a joke like that. So I choked on my own. Anyway. But from there, it was, there was one other guy though. And he was his name was David Hernandez. And he was like came up like here. He was like a Gabriel Iglesias, except he still had his hair. And he was funny because he knew how to riff really well. And he knew how to say things that sounded only minorly insulting. But you couldn't exactly tell if he was making fun of what you were wearing or why you were wearing it. It was this little in between spot that he managed to slide in. Maybe it's because he was shorter than I was. I don't know. But still, high school was a time for all of us, and as we all know it. And you always have those weird things on the news. And there's always these weird little headlines. And one that came up very recently for me was British guy at American Eagle walks in with a bomb up his ass and has to call the bomb disposal squad. There's a lot of questions here. And one of the ones I like to ask is, well, why was there to begin with? And there's a very obvious answer to that. He wanted to try a new experience. And these new experiences have to do many things with, as was brought before, sexual awakenings. Now, for this, there's many things we can eliminate the three things. 1, self-pleasure. 2, group pleasure. Or 3, an absolute blowout. So the first thing is he simply took some lube, shoved it out there. The second one is when the police get involved with it, which I think, there's some pretty hot costumes in, those magazines you always get around that you think they're off-brand LL Beans, but other than that, you probably don't want to open them. And then the third is, of course, the most explosive route to awakening yourself. And from there, well, we know all that all ends. But that's all I have for tonight. First time trying this. Thank you guys.
All right. I just wanted to preface by saying that if I stutter a little bit too much or say one too many uhs, just imagine me as Joe Biden. I did not have sexual relationships with that woman. Wrong president, my bad. Anyways, over the summer, the summer's pretty interesting. My grandparents visited from Eastern Europe. They came over and stayed with my family for a little bit. They did we did some pretty interesting things. However, I think the best thing that we did, or at least that I didn't really get to do this, but I saw it. I watched both of my grandparents play each other 1v1 in Call of Duty. It was quite the experience. So, well, firstly, they're grandparents, right? The closest thing they had to a video game when they were growing up was Cowboys and Indians. I'm kidding. They're Eastern European. The closest thing they had to a video game was comparing, to see who had bigger portions of meat after waiting in line for 2 hours in a food line. But anyways, so that's first. And then secondly, they both wanted to try something new. They came up to me one day at home and they're like, hey, Grandma and I were thinking, we want to see which one of us is most like a modern day teenager or college student. And so we want to play that Call of Duty game you're always playing. And I told them, okay, well, if you guys end up playing this game, based on that logic, neither of you are going to win at the end of that game. For one thing, one of you is bound to lose the game, and you just don't want to be like us. Let's just get that out of the way. And so anyways, it goes on, and they start playing each other. It takes them 5 minutes to just actually kill each other. They're just walking around, just aimlessly shooting at the sky, at just random billboards and stuff in the game. Until finally, with about a minute left, my grandma just out of nowhere just snipes my grandpa in the head. Headshot, game over, grandma won. And my grandma's reaction was, kind of like an elderly, grandma's reaction, be like, what just happened? What the hell just happened? She didn't say hell, she doesn't. She's like, what the heck just happened? And so, after the game, I explained to them, oh no, grandma, this is just part of the game, you did well. And she's like, you know, I kind of felt a rush from that. Like that actually made me feel good. Oh, let's play again. And so for the next 2 weeks, my grandparents were asking me, hey, how do we turn this Xbox on? And yeah, it was pretty interesting. All right, moving on to a more relevant topic. So raise your hands if you use at least one pencil for exams. All right, keep your hands up if you use at least 2 pencils. 3, 4. You scare me. I think that there should be like a university policy that there should, if you go into an exam with at least, or with a max 3 sharpened pencils and all 3 of them break, you should just get an A on the exam. Like, I don't understand what it's like. I don't understand the idea of having 4 or more. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like the Minutemen in the Revolutionary War, start tossing out pencils to everybody, just in case an intruder walks in through the door. Hey, pencil for you! Freaking like Oprah Winfrey. You get one, and you get one, and you get one. Let's go to war! Woo! And that's just crazy talk, man. I don't get it. That's like on the same tier as girls who have like 1 million stickers on their laptops, right? Like that stuff just like makes no sense. It's useless. Like it doesn't even make any sense, right? All right, next thing. Let's see. So I wanted to actually congratulate, Purdue volleyball, Purdue basketball, and Purdue football on pretty good seasons. I think Purdue basketball especially, it's pretty remarkable that we've reached a point in the season where, teams losing to us by like 10 or more, or like let's say 10 points has become something that most teams would consider a win. That's how good we've become. I think that's awesome. That's kind of like the same thing, at least in my opinion. That's kind of like the same thing as telling a joke to JT and having him just like breathe out of his nose. Like for most people that'd be a win. I feel like actually a couple weeks ago I actually made him do that. I told him a joke about communism and sure enough he breathed through his nose. So I consider that a win in my book. And that's my time. Thank you guys all so much.
Hello. So as I hope we all know, you have your primary studies, you got your majors, what you really came here for. And then you have your secondary studies, the things that you can go into. I like to call it resume padding. Down at guidance, they call them minors. And you're supposed to go into minors that'll help out your major, like a criminal justice major going into archaeology. I mean, think about it. Come on, you're digging up dirt, maintaining evidence. What's a ruins except a really old crime scene? And I really envy the people who can just go into a minor that they just like to do for fun, Like this one girl I graduated with, all right? Let me help you picture her, all right? So, movies in which Emma Stone is the protagonist? Like teenage Emma Stone? She's the antagonist, all right? And so, all over her open house invites, she's got her plan of study, right? So, business, all right, girl boss, got it. Minoring in geography. Geography? What in the French fuck are you gonna do with a minor in geography? Congrats, you can point where Montenegro is on a map. Can you do anything else? No. I mean, I really shouldn't be talking. I'm getting a minor in philosophy, which is just a piece of paper that says, I think I'm better than you, signed by Rich Daniels. But you never really hear people that are like super gutted about, not going more with their philosophy, or with their minor, You never imagine an elderly businessman like, my boy, I've conquered the world of car insurance. And as I approach my death at the ripe age of 32, I have but one regret. And what is your regret, father? That I only minored in Asian American studies. You never hear people super destroyed about that. But I want to meet a dude who was super destroyed about it. I want to meet someone that really gets into their minor, I want to meet a dude who went to med school who's super into his dance minor. Get him 50 cc's of AIM! Stat! Hold on, doctor, I'll get the scalpel. I'm so sorry. The procedure was a failure. We couldn't save your son. You know, I'd much rather say that. I'd much rather read that guy than this is fucking business geography. Because what's she gonna do, right? You know that guy? You're gonna see he's going places. He's going somewhere. Either to the operating room or to Broadway. What's she doing? What's she gonna do? Open an Atlas store? That's all I got. Thank you very much.
So I have this one friend who we're always getting in debates about whether or not cats and dogs are better. Hi, Abby. I was planning on getting this gift for her of this book called Dogs Are Better Than Cats. But then I read the book and it's like, this is just too good. No way I'm giving this away. But yeah, it's, I don't know, there's a lot of art out there that I'm like, it's got such bad production quality that I'm just like, is this TV show meant for kids? But then it like spontaneously adds in like the element of violence and sex, and I'm like, who is this made for? And I would put this book in that category, just so you guys like understand what this book is all about. I'll read you like the first couple pages here. So they have like one example is his dogs are sincere. Cats are sneaky. And it's just got like these pictures of a sincere dog, some sneaky cats. But then a few parts here get weird. Thought I'd share those. So here, this page it says catty. I mean, what a great pun, right? But it has two conversations going on here between two different pairs of cats. So the first pair of cats, it starts out, her kittens are so ugly, look just like their father. The next conversation goes, she thinks she's dancing. Looks like she's in heat to me. So this next page, it's entitled Cat House. It says, that's Miss Wanda H. Disick. Always a perfect lady, except for being a slut. I would like to point out there that Wanda H. Disick shares the same last name as one of the authors. I would like to imagine the author has a very bad relationship with her sister. Then there's another one back here. It's got this caption where there's an owner going, "Pussy, where are you?" They wouldn't let a kid see that, man. Wow. Actually, here, can you hold this for me? Okay. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so I know you guys were like, it's a Saturday night, I got all my homework done, where can I get more school, right? So I brought a textbook. And kind of going off the same book, I think it's fun. Well, this is from a mentoring class, and some of these books, like, they have, like, example dialogues of what you should do, and I just love when books have that, because, they always just seem so realistic, So I was just going to read you guys a passage here. All right. Carol, this is our third month into our mentoring relationship. We said we were going to build some regular feedback during the year. I think this is a good time to do it. What do you think? Okay, I guess I'm ready. Okay, give it to me. of all, I am not here to give it to you. I want us both to be able to give each other feedback. How it's going and what we could do better. Both you and me. Sorry, I gotta establish these are two different people. Sorry, Karen will be left, Carol will be right. Okay, where was I? Yeah, you're right. Sure, I agree. Do you want to go first? I've noticed you've been late a few times. I think you could benefit from better time management. What do you think of that? Sure, I can try that. Also, while I did like the idea you shared in the meeting today about it's not Big Brother, it's just in the bathroom. I didn't see how that related to our gender equality initiatives. Another thing I've noticed is sometimes clients feel uncomfortable around you. I think you could benefit from not threatening them with a gun and saying, "Cash now, I have your children." What do you think of that? Sure, I can try that. I've also noticed you sometimes take my yogurt from the fridge. I think you could benefit from just not. What do you think about that? Sure, I can try that. I think you can be overly passive-aggressive though, Karen. What do you think of that? Thank you for the feedback. I think you can shut your mouth. What do you think of that? Sorry, it might go on. You might have to finish. Okay. Oh my God, I did not time this out. Okay, where was I? What do you think of that? Well, I think you should stop harassing the interns. Charlie's just not that into you, okay? Well, sorry, I made a typo, my bad. I mean, what? No, this is from the textbook. I don't know. Well, what would you know? You haven't been on a date in 6 months. Well, maybe if you hadn't slept with Brad. Well, maybe if you hadn't slept with JT. Maybe if you didn't sleep with Cam. Maybe if you didn't sleep with EJ.
That's how I know this is Wolves.
Wait, Karen, why do we only ever name drop guys in the comedy club? What, like women could ever do stand-up comedy? Like, what would they even have to compensate for, right? Well, you do make a good point. Okay, sorry, losing track here, my bad. Sorry. Well, maybe if you hadn't slept with Nico. Wait, yeah. Whoa, what's going on in here? I heard screaming from the hall. No one asked your opinion, Susan. Sorry, would you mind holding this for me? Holy cow, Karen, you shot Susan! This is Susan. Okay. Karen again. You know what? I think we got a little distracted here. I just want to say that none of this feedback was meant to be personal. Us here at the Taliban just want to see our employees grow as people. And see.
All right. For all of you that were here 4 weeks ago, I told you that I decided to take some of my free time and start doing some deep thinking about issues that are really really prevalent in our society, and in those 4 weeks since then, I've done it again. So this time, I was thinking, why is tipping so weird? Tipping. So, like I know, like, it used to be a thing where, oh hey, I'm getting food. This guy here gave me my food and he did a marvelous job of it. I will give him $1. Here we go. I am now on my way. But now, in my mind, it's become almost a requirement where if I'm at a restaurant, I basically feel bad if I don't give a tip, and like it's become to the point where it's the server has to do something so just egregiously bad for me to even think about leaving less than 10%. Like, I'm pretty sure the waiter could like come up to me, just like punch me in the face, say fuck you, and I'd still give him 15%. Maybe 20, because I'm thinking, oh man, you probably had a bad day. Oh no. But some restaurants that I've been to have started also thinking the same thing, weirdly enough, and are just dropping any pretext. So a couple weeks ago, I went to a restaurant and I ordered some food, and like the adult that I am, I ordered mashed potatoes, the most mature food. And when I got the bill, I noticed, I'm like, how the hell is this $20? I bought fucking mashed potatoes. You take a potato and you just beat the shit out of it and then you put it on a plate. Can't be more than like $10. So I looked at the receipt and I saw it's like, oh, mashed potatoes, there it is, $10. But so I'm like, okay, then how is this $20? So I look a little bit lower on the receipt, and there it is, a 25% tip, already added onto the bill. Just, well, I don't get a choice, I guess. The really weird thing about that though was the fact that right below it was a line that said additional tip, as if they knew that I would feel obliged to leave them more money in addition to the money that they already took from me without my permission. I'm pretty sure that's just called theft. Another good word for that I thought of is taxes. It's just, at this point, it's basically just a restaurant tax in addition to the tax that I already pay. And now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I don't have any representation in the restaurant that made that taxes. So I don't know how I feel about that. I haven't told my friend Thomas and Samuel about that yet, but I'm pretty sure if they heard about it, they would have a real riot. I already know exactly what Thomas is going to say. He would say that the restaurant needs to get some common sense. Oddly enough, the restaurant that I went to, it was a British pub. So I see that they're learning one thing from their history. And on that bombshell, I am done. So,
yeah, like making out wearing masks is so weird, dude. Anyways, what? Like you all haven't tried before. So, any of you who'd been here for the last stand-up mic? I mean, the open mic? No? Okay, so there were like a lot. Okay. There were a lot of comedians who were taking shots at girls on Tinder, and then there was this one comedian who came up and he's just like, you know, all the comedians taking shots at girls on Tinder are probably doing that because they got rejected. It's like, first, and there was this one girl in the audience, she's like, yeah, you tell them, yeah. Like, first of all, her bio was probably aspiring MILF or here for a good time and not a long time. Second of all, fuck you. I perform comedy here every other Saturday. And every other Saturday that I'm not performing comedy, I'm hanging out with my 2 other brown guy friends. And together we look so brown that we could get arrested for walking across campus with a backpack. Of course I got rejected. Fucking stupid opinion. You know, like, I can't complain though because I give stupid opinion all the time. So every time I'm walking across campus and I see a couple holding hands or making out, I'm just like, go get a room. My friends are just like, you're just saying that because you're jealous. It's like, first of all, fuck you. Yes, I am. Second of all, what else am I going to say? Like, they're making out. They're like, hey, baby, put your mask on. It's like, no, or you know, like, substitution. Like, yeah, can I have a go? Like, my turn, bro. It's just like, maybe you could not say anything. Like, not say anything? No. Like, what are all the Indian aunties going to say when I go back home? The relationships in India is a communal event. Like, if you're a teenager, it's your responsibility to give them material, you know? Like, if I go back, like, how is Kamala auntie going to say, hey, you saw that Sarsu's son, huh? He's going with some American girl, it seems. It's like, no. Like, obviously I have to comment something, right? Anyways, my new favorite thing now is giving people, like, obvious mundane advice, right? So the other day I was traveling on the bus with my friend, and halfway through the journey we weren't talking anything, so I was like, I'll just give him some facts, right? I'll give him some facts. So I was just like, Rahul, did you know that carrying bombs on the bus is illegal? Which is right, it's not wrong. And he's just like, dude, I've never carried a bomb on the bus. Like, why would you say that? That's exactly what someone who's carrying bombs on the bus would say. So we were held back and then we were searched. And this guy had the audacity to blame me for it. So next time we went on the bus, we sat separately. And I had to prove to him that it was his fault, right, the first time. So before the bus started, I stood up and I was like, Rahul, just because you don't sit with me, doesn't make it legal to molest men. And he was just like, I've never molested a single man in my life. You've never molested a single man in your life. That's oddly specific, no, Rahul. So this time he was detained, so whose fault was it now, right? Anyways, I'm not going to leave you all with like useless facts, so I'll tell you like a good fact. So, did you all know that toilet paper is a very Western concept? Like, so people in the East don't use toilet paper, they use water. So, what's so funny, bro? Like, what do you think you'd use instead of toilet paper? Like leaves? Anyways, so the first time I was on the plane, I went to the bathroom and I saw toilet paper. And I was like, holy shit, they have arts and crafts for when you take a shit. So, like, implied entertainment, right? So, yeah, I thought I'd do some drawings. So, I wanted to draw myself. So, I needed crayons, right? Like, they had the paper, they didn't have the crayons. So, like, you know how when you're a guy, there's just like the primary colors. There's just red, blue, green, yellow. There's no like, there's no in-betweens. So, I needed brown to draw myself. And I didn't know what shade of brown I am. So, I hit the assistance button and the air hostess came and she was outside the bathroom door and she was like, sir, is everything okay? I was like, I can't find my brown crayon. And she was just like, is this a medical emergency? I'm just like, no, I just can't find my brown crayon. She's like, maybe you want to look in your pants. I was like, what do you mean? But, okay, all the while, eh? I don't blame you, it usually taking you a while to find my brown crayon. Anyways, like, yeah, we sorted it out, yeah. And we actually, like, we fell in love and like, she's here watching the show with me today. No, I'm just kidding, we met on Tinder. We met on Tinder. No, I'm just kidding again. Those are just my brown friends. Bro, put the backpack away.